Welcome back to another episode of Stories of Awakening podcast. And also today, I wanted to talk about my story actually, and the second part of the story, because I realized in the first episode, I was talking a lot about basically a series of events that brought to my awakening, but there is a lot to say also what happened after my awakening. And also, I wanted to clarify what awakening, what I mean with this word awakening. And what I mean is the rapid evolution of consciousness that is taking place on this planet right now and has been going on for a few years. And to know more, there are many books that talk about it. One that I really like and I would suggest to read is A New Earth from Eckhart Tolle, and also Celestine's Prophecy, which is actually a fiction book, but they describe what is happening at this time in the planet. And I will give you also my definition of awakening. So what I mean with awakening is really realizing that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are the awareness behind of all of this. You are not your ego either, but you are the awareness that is observing all of this. The first time that I realized that I was something more than my thoughts, my emotions, and my ego was after a few months, or maybe even just 1 month, that I was practicing meditation. I could really observe these emotions, sensations, thoughts from outside almost. So I was not identifying myself with these things anymore, but I could just observe them as an awareness. And also, with this process, you realize that you are much more powerful than you ever thought before, or that anyone ever told you before, probably. And that you are the creator of your own life. You can actually achieve everything that your heart desires. So there is this shift where you pass from victim to creator. So from thinking that life is happening to you and you're very unlucky and all the challenges are actually there to work against you, to a different point of view, to really realize that life is happening for you, and any challenge that you see and you overcome is actually for your expansions and your growth. So this is how I define awakening. Is my own definition. I'm sure maybe some people can define it in a different way. And but if you read these books that I suggested, definitely you will get a lot of information about it. One of the main things during my awakening that really made me realize that I was a creator of my life and not a victim was this concept of manifestation. That you might have heard of it already, especially if you speak in English. There is much more information in English compared to Italian, for example. But I will give my own definition of manifestation and explain what it is in case people just heard about it and want to know more, or never heard about it either. So the first time I heard the word manifestation was actually in October 2020, pretty much, when I hired my coach, and part of the program was also teaching about manifestation. How I can describe it is basically our internal world will be mirrored outside, so our thoughts becomes our reality. You know, when you say your dreams can become true, that's the process that make your dreams becoming true, basically. And there are a few steps that I learned during my coaching, and I want to share them with you. One thing that I want to say first is that we might think that this is a new age concept, but actually this concept is as old as time, and we are manifesting since we are born. And the fact that nobody explained this to us, we manifest mainly maybe things that we don't want, and since it's an unconscious process for us, if we don't know about it, we might manifest good things or bad things for us. I don't know if you ever thought, for example, I hope that doesn't happen, and you repeat it over and over again, or you don't want something to happen and you keep focusing on that thing that you don't want to happen, and then it's happening. This is the same process, but yeah, if we use it like that, of course we will manifest more things that we actually don't want, which is still useful because it will give you the proof that you really don't want that thing, and then you can decide to change your belief and your way of thinking and actually manifest what you want. Anyway, the manifestation process has few steps, and you will see different teachers explain it in slightly different ways. I will simplify it in this podcast, but of course you can always do your own research. So the first step is really become crystal clear on what you want in your life, what you really want, meaning what your heart want, not what your ego want, not something that you want to prove anything to anyone, or so you feel superior to someone else, but actually your desire. And also it has to be your desire, not what your parents wanted for you, not what your culture told you to have to be happy, but something that your soul really, really wants. And then once you get clear on that, there might be some limiting beliefs, some fears coming up, and so it's important to have a process that help you go through that and clear those limiting beliefs and fears, and then really become and embody the version of yourself that has already everything that you want. And those things can be material, a house, a car, a job, but it can also be, for example, health and a clear skin, I don't know, slimmer, whatever it is. And then the last step is taking action. So following your intuition, once you know your desire, your intuition will talk to you, and you will have to take some actions that more often than not are actually very uncomfortable. And those action will make your dreams become reality. One thing that I really would like to say is that often we think consciously or how we can get to where we want, to our goal, but our job is actually decide just what we want and take the inspired action to get there. But where and when and from whom is really actually not our job. It's a co-creation with the universe. I know here it gets a bit exoteric, but everything I teach and I do is very esoteric. So is really realizing that it's not just your job. Your job is to be in the right energy, declaring what you want, believe that you can achieve it, take the action when the time comes, but then when exactly is happening and how exactly is happening is not actually your job, but is the universe that is coming to help you, to co-create with you. So when I learned these steps with my coach, she asked me to put it into practice. And one of the things that I was desiring, and I wasn't calling it manifesting yet, but yeah, one of the things that I desired was really get clarity on my purpose, of my mission, and what to do basically for a living. because I knew the time in finance for me was coming to an end, but I really didn't know what else to do. So after 3 months of this process and clearing limiting beliefs and fears and so on, I had really clarity. So something that you can manifest is also clarity on your mission, for example. And I really had clarity on what I wanted to do and who I was. Of course, there were so many fears coming up. There was still a lot of work to do, but at least I had a clear idea of what I wanted to do. And another thing that I was manifesting, and I wrote it down in my journal, was actually to bring a well-being program in the office that I was working in at the time. And as I mentioned in the first episode, the leaders of the company, after 1 year of pandemic, they were trying to find solution to make people feel better. So they wanted to introduce well-being exercise or a well-being program in our everyday meeting. And I then volunteered because, of course, I was practicing meditation, Reiki. I was studying these things for a couple of years, and now so I had I really had many ideas that I wanted to share with others. So I took the opportunity, and that's the action that we were talking about, and I helped implementing this well-being program, let's call it, where every day we were doing a different activity. It could have been a meditation, journaling, gratitude list, eating healthy, moving, It was mainly about well-being. Of course, I couldn't go too esoteric in an office in finance. I didn't want to impose any of my beliefs to any of them, but I just wanted to help to make them feel better. But what that experience gave me was a proof that that was something that I really wanted to do, because I was really feeling fulfilled doing that. Even if it was a small part of the day, to me meant really a lot. And also I received a lot of recognition for it. And so that was definitely something, the second thing that I manifested after knowing this process, manifested consciously. As I said, we always manifest since we are born, but that was, again, also the proof that this process can work. After I got clarity on my mission and taking the action to actually leave my job to do that full time, it took about 6 months. And because, of course, there was still fear, or, I needed to digest the information that I received. So there were 2 other important things that happened during that time that really pushed me forward. And there were 2 readings. So I won't go into much details in these readings. Maybe I will tell more in other episodes, and I might invite even guests to talk about it. But one was an Akashic record reading, which is basically a reading about your soul blueprint and how to align your life to your soul blueprint and the plan that your soul had for this specific life, and astrology. And I think astrology is more well known from people, even if, of course, they don't have specific knowledge. I don't know how many people actually studied, but they know what it is. And both of those readings from people that I never met confirmed exactly what I was thinking and what I wanted to do with my life. And my skills, my issues in life, it was really, really amazing to know that there are tools like that actually can help you confirm. Often what these tools do is give you a confirmation of what you know already inside of you. They don't tell you anything new. But because it's someone that is external and I never met you, and if you were like me that never shared anything on social media before, it was really, really powerful. So I got those two readings, and the last one was the astrology reading that was super powerful for me. So after that, I think was in May 2021, it took me still a couple of months to do it, but I realized that I wanted to do this, and even if I didn't have a clear plan, it was something that basically I had to do. And so I quit my job. I knew already meditation and Reiki, but I didn't know how to combine things together. I didn't have a clear business plan of how to do things. But often what you have to do is just really take a step on the unknown. And once you take the first step, the second step will show up. So I was really interested in subconscious after my coaching. And I wanted to learn more about it. In particular, I was really fascinated by hypnosis. And so I was searching for courses where they could teach hypnosis to me. And I found this course that was not just certifying me to become a hypnotherapist, but also teaching other tools to work on the subconscious mind. And also overall, it was a certification to become a coach. And so I decided to do it. It started that summer, the same summer that I quit my job, and it lasted for 6+ months. And I really realized, especially when we were doing some practice, I really realized that not just meditation, not just Reiki, but really coaching was the thing that I loved the most. And I could combine everything that I was learning in the program with my meditation experience and Reiki experience already. So I realized that actually coaching was my favorite thing to do. And until now, I told you the more positive sides of things, and of course I was feeling so much happier, so much better, so much more in power of my life, my choices. I really had hope that I could create the life that I always wanted. But of course, with this process, there are many things that happen, and all the things that don't align with your highest mission or the best version of yourself actually will fall apart before you can build something completely new. So that can be painful, and I wanted to talk about this too, because I don't want to just say that all will be super easy when you decide to take the path of your highest potential. Actually, of course, things still happen, but you have the tools within you to overcome any challenge. But yeah, I want people to know that, of course, it can happen that friendship fall apart. My relationship that I had at the time, after 3.5 years, also fall apart for other reason, of course, as well. But of course, we were growing into very different directions. And I was living in London when all of this happened, and then I broke up with my partner at that time, so I decided also to move back to Italy, which was something that it wasn't in my plan as at that time. So of course a lot of changes, and also, as I was saying, some friends that might have known you for a long time might not understand what's happening to you. They see you different. Some people really appreciate the change, and you can be inspiring for some people, but some others might just not understand you anymore, so you might lose some friendship, which is also I want to normalize, because as we grow, change and evolve, not everyone that is in our life is meant to be forever. It can be a painful process, but once you have that in mind and you are really devoted to your self-development and self-growth, you will accept it with more ease. And also the people closer to you, your family, your parents, might think you're completely crazy, especially my parents' generation, where safety was everything. And in a culture like Italy, where having a job with with a stable job is really everything. And I understand, because there are less opportunities maybe than in other countries, but they might really not understand and really not agree with what you're doing. But if you really understand who you are, what you came here to do, how the universe works, nothing can really stop you. And so I think the reward, the satisfaction that you might feel, is much bigger than any challenge you might ever overcome during this journey. Okay, so I think I said everything I wanted. I wanted just to give you more details about the second part of the story, not just how you awaken, but what happens when you awaken. And there are so many other things that I would like to share with you that I manifested and I'm creating right now. But I'm sure there will be other occasions, and I might share more in other episodes of this podcast. So if you have any questions at all, and you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram as Soulvale, Soulvale. You can write me an email at hello@soul-vale.com. And I'm very happy to support you or answer any question you might have. Thank you so much for listening to my story, and I hope to see you at the next episode.